Hello, hello. It's going to be a lonely live stream. Anybody here? Maybe give me a thumbs up or something. Anybody? Oh, shit. Okay. All right. Well, it looks like a small group here, so not much I can do other than just get rolling here. Perhaps, right, everybody's glued to their screens waiting for the Fed, although it's been the most boring 3 days of the year waiting for this announcement. But, okay, well, let's just get rolling here, and perhaps many will view here after the fact, after the day is done. Got a kind of an interesting lineup here. First up, I've got Solana. This is, I'm just kind of checking to see. No, okay, we're live now. Okay, good. Okay, right, so the first up I've got, this is an image. Where'd it go? Hang on, this is, I got to warn you, this is a white screen coming. All right, so this is Holly Life. I think I've got that right now, where he's just framing out this accumulation, right? So we can look here. Now he's not a practitioner of Elliott Wave, but this, certainly it's not necessary, not mandatory. So we see all of this accumulation here. Now we, looking at this with our Elliott hats on, would probably look at this as some sort of consolidation, a 4 of sorts, with all sorts of, I hadn't seen this, he's got Lambo up here at 280, so he must have a decent position. This would be, you know, an area to pay attention to if we're coming down here, right? So he's got a low volume node here and unclaimed. Demand zone and a fair value gap here. So there's potential if we're going to sell off, right? So we know we're going to get a reaction today. Everybody knows that, right? So let's get over here, right? Here's Solana. All right, so here, let me get us a bigger picture here so we can look at kind of framing up what he was looking at here. So this is all, I guess we might consider this all just accumulation. That's his premise, is this is all accumulation. So as we've come down here and tested the low end of it, right, we can certainly at least look at this and think, okay, well, if I'm going to be a buyer, right, since I'm buying the discount, let's buy in the discount, right? Do we have an Elliott structure here that would make sense for potentially a buy here? Well, we've got a candidate here for a deep 2 per the 3 that gives us, we got this rejection down here, right? Pretty clear sweep back to the middle, back to that premium discount, right? Where we make that distinction, then we sell off, right? Back to the low end. So if you're, where's the better upside, right? It's, again, it seems silly. I mean, I don't, duh, right? Obviously. So we've certainly got the potential, right? If we get a bullish reaction today, right? Okay, we're going to get a 3, 4, 5, something like that. We can put this together coming out of here. Okay, what would that be if this is going to hold as the 4, 1, 2? Well, that's, could be the 3, but more likely that's 1 of 3 if we're going up to some of these upper heights here. All right, some assumptions, right? We could have a bigger 3. I mean, we could come up here and double. If we're going to have a true bull, right? My premise would be this is 1, 2, 1 of 3, right? We're going to be much higher. All right, so we got that going. Okay, let me let's see if there's anything else right now. So he's giving a potential for this to come lower. So let's just so that we're clear on this, so that we have both scenarios here. Well, what if we head lower? Well, we can take that off. We can take all of this off. All right, and we might think, oh, okay, well, something else is happening here. We're going to go deeper, right? So this would be we'd be relabeling here if we were going to come down here. So let's just think for the possibility. Let's get this labeled here. If this could be 1, 2, 3, sure has the look of a 4, right? Could we come down here? This would be a clear target, right? We can look over here and see how much of this has been. Oh, what have I got that demands on here? I guess I changed it to green. All right, so we have this has been, not, it's typically, right, you might use 50% as full mitigation, but they certainly got a deep toe into it. So, does this still need to be triggered down here? Perhaps. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what would this likely be? But then we'd be looking at some sort of combination here to complete this. If we were going to finish, you might do A, B, C, something along those lines. Maybe the C comes down here. Kind of a wait and see, right? Everything today is, perhaps that's why we've got such low attendance today. Nobody wants to take any positions, right? You've got just pure, rampant, blatant, like, oh my God, come on, like of all the days not to be trading. The manipulation in the indexes is obscene, right? But retail is getting taught a lesson why you don't trade on days like this, right? It's just nothing but manipulation, right? Perhaps we'll look at that. It's not a day to be trading, right? I know everybody wants to trade all the time, right? Well, shit, that's what I'm doing. I'm a trader, so I got to trade, right? Of all the days not to trade, a Fed day, particularly this Fed day, just a terrible day to be trading. So just a suggestion, right? If you've been trading, if you're having a good day, maybe ease up. Let the volatility pass here. So could we have something like this coming down here for this to finish as a 5, right? We begin and end in 5s. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, perhaps C. Remains to be seen, right? So there's no reason to take any positioning here till we get through, right? So a lot of this today is just going to be, okay, if we're bullish, reaction, okay, that we know what to do. And if bearish, okay, we've got to reevaluate and see where the next pivot is. All right, so thanks for that, Holly Life. It's weird. Okay. Let me get, let's just make sure we're on and we're streaming. Yeah, we are. Okay. Yeah, weird. Okay, so Fork Pilot, what has he got here? Fork Pilot is giving us this one. Fork Pilot. All right, so he's giving, Adobe. All right, that's nice. Okay, so let me just copy that. Oh, this is some nice looking Elliott. Fork Pilot, this is very nicely done. Okay, so I've got a impulse off the 1. It's kind of a waterfall, but A, B, C. Well, I think people sometimes get caught up, like say, well, wait a minute, what this isn't an A, B, C, right? It's not obvious. Well, you got to work with what's there. Right, you can see it here. You'd have to. Could you do it? Right. I mean, yeah, 1, 2, or A, B, C. You could do it. What's more significant to me is where's the turn? Just above the golden, right? And perhaps a little front run. You do see that often. Well, he's got these. Let's brighten these up a little bit. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A. Oh shit. A, B, C. 1, 2, 3. Here's your 4, 5. There's a 1. Let's brighten that one up again. Let's put it in yellow so we can see it. Up for the 3, 4, 5. It's some nice work. Nice Elliott work. Up for the 3. 1, 2. A, B. Expand the B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 1, 2. All right. Here we are. Right. So it's very. Whether you're employing, which I can't imagine you wouldn't be, whether you're employing the contemporary measured move as labeled per David Halsey, right? So if we go in 50 golden zone here with targets up above, if you're going into that, hang on guys, 1 second. All right, so I'm getting voicemails. Okay, 1, 2, all right, so here's our candidate here, right? If we're gonna go A, B, come down for the C. 3, 4, and 5. Let's see here also. I'm going to brighten those up a little bit. All the way potentially up here. 4, 5, which could take us. Right, what are we going to do? Right, he's giving it more time. Right, so 3, 4, 5 of 3. Come on, of 3. 1, 2. Okay, so we have nice channeling here. So again, you complete the whole thing. Right, so if I go up here and bring it down here. Okay, so nice self-contained channeling. Here's the break. Retrace. Fill this little gap. Now we're... Right now, we're going to know, right, based on the reaction today. Are we likely to come down here and take this pivot? Well, of course we could, right? Earnings. Positive. Next earnings, right? We're going to the end of the year. So 1, 2, you know, what could the 2 be in? It could be. Looks like you got it. We go to 60, A, B, C. 1, 2 of the next degree, or A, B, we're coming down for the C, right? Hard to call it, but wouldn't be surprised if we had a little more time to cook there. Sweep this low into the golden zone. We got a big gap there, right? And market may want to fill that. So that looks pretty good, right? So there's nothing really to do here other than, you know, get through the day. And if we don't have a collapse, or, you know, it's going to be volatile, right? So we'll have better ideas of where the counts are headed after today. Okay, good for that one. Thanks, Fork Pilot. That's nice work. Very, very spot on, right? Nothing to add there. Just excellent work. All right, let me never give back. What do we got? All right, so we got never give back here. Okay. All right. Never give back. What he's giving me? See, I got an image again. Okay, at least this one here is on a black background. So we got Archer Aviation. So he's got an A, B, C going in for Archer Aviation. Okay, so let's bring that up. Oh, here, I got to get rid of this one. Let's just split it. And I can get Archer over here. I kind of want to keep that Adobe. I might jump on that. Stocks, Archer Aviation. All right, so he's got us in an ABC. Let's get out to a daily, right? For any equity, we want to start on the daily. All right, so here's a classic, okay, failure swing. All right, so, okay. All right, let's see. If we do this, looks like no, we don't want that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, let's just see here. We can make this fly as a diag, right? So we've got this, looks like we've got overlap here. We do. Let's just put that in right here. So a little grab here. Here's the classic play, right? So we don't fully mitigate this. We just get a toe into it, right? Looks like we're doing that now. A, B, C. Oh, we don't really want this, right? You'd rather keep that as a full. Yeah, might have to do it here to keep that out of trouble. A, B, 1, 2. Not great. So I think you need to keep it up here. All right, let's try to accommodate here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A question mark, right? So it's just a wick going through. I think we could probably call this a 1, 2, 3, 4. You're stuck with it. A, B, you're kind of stuck with it, right? So coming down for the 2, all right. Let's come in here. Right into this unmitigated, right? This little bullish order flow as we down before we go up. Right at the 50%, so now fully mitigated. Now, what's our reaction? What do I have underneath? Anything? Oh, shit. How about a double RSI? I don't even know what it is, right? Something like this. Okay, right? So we're under here. We're, potentially, do you want to buy that today? Well, probably not, right? Again, don't get caught up in trying to I got to get the turn, right? If it breaks, okay, we'll reevaluate. You get that one. If it pops here, let's say we get a pop, all right? Well, you don't need to be the first buyer, right? Something will pop here. This would be a sweep. Can we get this, right? You'll get another chance at it, right? If it's going to go, right? If this is what we've got, there'll be another chance at it. Next thing, right? We just obvious targets here. The sweep here, right? Can we break this? That would be your change of character. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, right? We don't quite get there, right? It's close, right? We don't get to this pivot. right? Double. So that becomes a clear target, right? So I'd be watching there, right? Maybe an options play, right? If you're anxious to get onto that, right? If you want to try and get in there, but I wouldn't give it a lot of room, right? It's always the danger with options. It's easy to stay, right? It's easy to stay. All right, so he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's going. This is his count, just to put it in context, right? He's got us at going A, B, C that we're in, and we're done here. It's good on paper. I'm not saying that's not it, right? I might wait, right? Let's see what the reaction is, right? So again, you know, the market, everything happening today is about manipulation, period, right? That's all it's about, right? Who can we get off sides before we get the actual move? So that's one to maybe tee up. Okay, so there, thanks for that one, Never Give Back. Like the work, right? This is a little, that might give you some pause, but there it is. Okay, Ben B, Vital. Okay, let's see what he's thinking. Oops, what did I just do there? I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do this copy link. Okay, let's go. No, I don't want to do it. Let's do it over here. Okay, let's start with a new link. And let's copy that. All right. Hang on. There's the market taking off. Okay, this looks nice, right? So we've got a, well, okay, I'm going to change that to something we can see here just to make that distinction. Looks like he's pulling it from this. I can see your problem, right? That's a tough Vital Farms. I've heard of this. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so that looks good. So how do we come off the corner here? It looks like it's a little wick. But still, it's a break, right? So you'd be cautious here, right? But look, right there's that's how the market is, right? After this little retrace, you don't get another retrace, right? It's just a straight line. That's a pretty remarkable move for Vital Farms, right? So something, right? This earnings, so somebody, this was fuel right here, right? They killed it. Surprise up, you know. So A, B, right? You would anticipate a B coming here, right? That's a pretty remarkable. Jesus, look what we do here. Per the set of median lines, we go right to the sliding parallel. Right now, when we get to the sliding parallel, right, we've got it looks like he's got a 150 here. Now we're coming back to the median line, right? So that's commonly what you'll see. Although we overshoot a little bit here, but look, what are we doing there? It looks like we're just coming to a 38.23. What's he got there? It's okay. So here he's pulling from this low, right? 38.23. Oh, 27. Okay, 27. B. Right, now this is often, right, where you got to be careful, right, because retail will see that and think that. Right now, not that can't happen, but looking here, right, sure looks like it's an impulse, right? So we might anticipate something like this as he's laying out here. So B, right, it's almost always the sucker rally. Let's go to a 4 here. It's going to be hard pressed to call that a 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what's the play? Well, if you're a bull, you certainly could play the B. I mean, I'm not saying don't play the B. You got to wait until, I mean, it could be a couple of months waiting for that. You could certainly play the B. Just don't be anticipating that you're going to go into a rip-roaring impulse, even though certainly that's possible, right? The market's under no obligation to follow these patterns, right? It's just what it typically does. That's an awfully, you know, how long did this take? Mid-July to, that's a year. Is that right? Mid-July 23 to June of 24. It's almost a year. And we're going to correct it in one swing? Right? It's not that it's not possible. It's just more probable. It takes a little bit more time, right? So if we could go from one edge of the median lines to the other edge, right? Yes, yeah, I would be very interested right there, right? If I get an opportunity to buy it there, that doesn't mean you're sitting there. Right? We got a little little zone here. We've got a little zone here. That doesn't mean you're sitting here with a limit order, although that's your prerogative, right? Per your risk tolerance. I would just wait, right? Let's see. Do we get a little reaction there? Do I get if I get a push, right? Then I can take it here. Stop one of the right because the thing with Elliott Wave that I think people miss, right? How significant this is, right? If this is going to be the pivot and we're going to get a 1-2, it cannot go one tick below that, right? If we're doing that, then something else is happening, right? And then it all has to start over again, right? Eventually, you're going to get a higher low that holds, right? So if this goes down here, we go A, B, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? We go to the outer parallel here. Eventually, there's got to be, right? If we're going to get it, right? Just down like here, like, oh shit, it looks like they're going to break it. We got pretty damn close there. But I mean, it can go up to within a tick, right? One tick over, invalidated, right? If it holds, now you got a good sign, right? That you've got your 2. I can't understate that, right? That's just so significant for your analysis, right? In terms of giving you that, when am I right, when am I wrong? I think that's something to pay attention to, right? That I think anyone studying Elliott Wave will connect that, but that's extremely significant to your technical work, right? And your risk control. So this is a great looking, Jesus, what a rip-roaring push that is. Well, it's a tough start getting out of there. We get right on that corner. It'll move when you change time frames, right? But that's the absolute low. We don't get a new low, right? So God, how are you counting that? Poof, good luck. Whatever it is, right? Eventually we get a higher low, and that's where it starts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like a pretty good count, right? A little bumpy on the start, but once they got this earnings, off to the races, right? Vital Farms, right? One to pay attention to. I'm going to keep that one as well, because I'm, as I've said many times, often I get my best ideas from these live streams. All right, none of our regs are around today. Again, I think everybody's on hold today. Okay, let's see. So I've got Ben B also giving me AOSL. Let's copy that link. Alpha Omega Semiconductor. Let's save that. Come over here. I'm just going to do this just because I have old brain. Keyframe, something. Okay, something with the stream. I'm just getting notified. Okay, AB. See, down for the 2. Right, now, as I just was talking about, a 2 cannot go past the pivot, but a B can, right? Just to make it all the more tricky. Okay, right. So there we've got a good-looking candidate here for alpha, right? Going up in 5, right? So again, you hear me say this all the time. What Elliott is, there's complexity to it, but the genius of it is 5s and 3s, right? And we see this so consistently. Well, so we can see what happened here. If we just zoom in here, this is not hard to see what happened, right? So there's the thought, right? So look here, this is a great example of it, right? Just what I was talking about. So 1, 2, you'd be thinking, oh, hey, I've got a candidate here, although we double up here, although it's a tick or 2 higher. I've got a candidate for an impulse. So I can be very deliberate about where I'm getting out, where I'm wrong, right? If this is not an impulse, how do I determine that? Well, there it is. Right, we cannot call that a 1. We could call it an A and this a B, but I can't call it a 1. Now, eventually, they're going to move this over here. Eventually, you're going to get a pivot, right? And this is pretty. Let's see what we can. Where's our 1 is up here. Okay, right. So here's the 1. Here's the 2. Eventually, we get the sweep, right? So we can all see what's happening here, right? It's not too hard to figure out. There's the liquidity grab. So that's the liquidity, right? So they grab the lows, right? That's often the launch point, right? Eventually, you'll get a low here that sweeps, and that's the start of it. Now, look, so this is what makes it so tricky, right? So if you didn't take this, right, that's a daily. When was your next opportunity to get in? This is very deliberate, right? You got to recognize this, right? Once this thing starts to go, they are not letting you get in. They're not giving you another chance to get in, right? Very frustrating if you're like, oh, okay, well, let me just wait for this. So I know I see this happen all the time, right? So let me wait for the 4, and I can catch the 4 to the 5. Well, they don't give it to you here, right? That is not by accident, right? This is, sorry, can't come in, right? Private party. That's all that's happening there, right? You're being, because they know retail, right, is going to wait for a retracement, and they don't give them one, right, until I get here. Now, what happens here, right? I get the first, it starts here, right? I get a few little changes, right? So I get this, then I've got a little, let's just keep it simple, right? So we get here again. So is this the start of it? A, B, C. Would you think that's the 2? Looks like this is pretty deep here, 707. Oh, let's go platinum. What do we get here? 786. Nice looking B, right? So this is where we get retail sucked in. Oh, it's going to the moon. Now, are we done there? That's pretty nice looking double. Pretty nice looking double. Okay, so good. A, B. Is it done? Well, you got the ingredients here. So the liquidity sweep is part of that. Oh, let's look at where we started from. Let's go to, let's just get them all on there. See where we are between the 38 and the 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B. Well, you might anticipate that coming a little bit lower. Now, we don't have the owl's not at work there, right? That's not the measure move algo, right? And of course, it very well could be an algo. It's just not the golden zone, right? We've gone past that. So where's the next potential interaction with owl? All right, well, there's the 50, right, with a target down here. So now we get a target. Right? Doesn't mean we can't go up the golden zone. It's just if it's going to start to come down based on the reaction of the market today, if we're coming down here, well, now look where we are, right? Right where you'd be looking for. So part of this is just having the patience to wait, right? If you're buying it here, if you're buying it here, are you buying in the discount or the premium? Oh, shit, I should probably keep that simpler. There's the, oh man, log, let's get out of log. Right, so if you're buying it down here, you're in the discount. You're buying it up here, you're in the premium. Let's get this out. Right, make it, here's the 50. Let's tighten that up a little bit. Right, 50, that's to the tick, right? So if we're coming down here, golden zone, that's a better looking sell. I'm not saying it couldn't be in here. But, so we've talked about this many weeks here, right? Do you want to buy it right into the 50? Probably not, right? You don't want to say, oh, it's not going to, it won't pivot at the 50 because I know it's going to the golden zone. No, you don't know that. Where's the, if you wanted to play this, ideally, right, here, you're trying to get in down here. Do you have a good setup here? Not really. Right? It's pretty skinny. Let's go to a 4, see if you've got anything there. Well, here's the sweep of the low. It's a straight line. I'd want to see a few more swings. Let's go to a 60 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks more like an A, B, C. It might still have more to come. Again, on a day like today, right? You don't want to force anything. Let's see how it reacts to the market. Now, something like this, you may not get a dramatic move. You might stay well within this range. You might, and this is not unreasonable, stay in this range. Definitely one to have on your radar. Ben B, right? He's tracking. He's always got interesting assets that he posts up, right? So not sure where he gets the ideas, but they're always worthwhile. Good post there, Ben B. Nice, right? We'll have to wait and see here. Well, think of it this way, right? If the low is in, we're going to get a higher low, right? That's going to at least break that. Right now, what do we? If you got that, what are you thinking? Are you thinking that this is 1, 2, 3? Probably not, right? 1, 2, 1. Wouldn't you anticipate? Right now, again, I'm not calling that. I'm just saying that's what you would anticipate. If I get a full 5 up here, come up and double, sweep the highs. It'd be very, very common. Sweep the highs, come back for the retrace. Right, go again. 1, 2. If we go this way, right? Well, you might do WX, A, B, C. You might do XY, depending on the shape of it. Not one to force just yet. One to have your eye on. Like it. I hate when I get so many I want to keep. Here, another one I'd want to keep. It's a good one. Okay, so I got that one. Okay, so I got Major David. Okay, just, yeah, I had a little, just so Major David, so he knows now, because he's saying he prefers to post images. It seems to me you might be thinking that if you give me a copy of your template, right, or your chart, template, that it's going to change on your end. I'm not going to change it, right? I'm just getting a copy that I can work with, as opposed to what you're giving me, which, again, right, it's not like it's essential. It's just I think it's a better experience for everybody, those watching as well as me, because now I get a chart I can work with. But he's not comfortable with that at the moment. So, how do I get this up here? So if I open in browser, right? So he's giving us a look at his read on Bitcoin. Okay, so this is a 4-hour from Major David, right? Now I've seen quite a few people, trying to get this bullish. Okay, it's a bit of a. So what's the assumption here, right? So again, I'm not saying this couldn't be it, or certainly it could be. Well, so ABC, right? So the implication is we're going to do this in a series of threes. If this is going to be if we're going to do this as ABC, I think turning that into an impulse is just, well, it's a force fit, right? It's not an impulse, right? So it's an ABC, right? So if we're going to do this in a series of threes, okay, ABC, ABC, right? So it's there, right? Let's see, what's a 4-hour? Oh, where have I gotten? Right. See, this is what I mean, David. If you're giving me a chart I can work with, I can keep working with your chart. You're not giving me a chart I can work with, so it's not that. Again, I'm not going to change. It's not going to change on your end. Anything I do with a live chart is not going to change on your end. It just gives me one I can work with, right? So I can, do some projection here, do something. Right? But, he's not ready for that yet. Okay, so there's a 1-hour. He gave it to me on Binance, right? So let's go to a 4-hour. See if we can come up with something here that makes sense, right? So he's going with, let's take this off here and see if I can replicate his count. So we're going to go with, let's get this off. All right, so first thing he has, well, the low is in, all right, so that we would have to relabel this. This would, so to make that fly per his count here, I'll just change this on the fly. We'd have to come up here. This is open to interpretation because we have a true double, so you can go A, B, C into this, call this the X, A, B, C, right? If the low is in, just as we were talking about, at some point, right, we have to get a higher low that holds, right? Have to, right? Again, go one tick, but it cannot go a tick beyond, right? So if we're going to come out of here and we're going to go into a diag, which, it's a lot to forecast at this point. Let me get that off of there. So let's get it in here. So this would be 1, 2, and we'd be looking for 3. Now, per the new rules, which I guess they're the authority, right? So per the new rules, in a diag, we do not need to overlap the 1 anymore. So what we do need to see is a series of 3s. So 1, 2, probably A, B, C, right, to give us a 3. Right, if we're going to get a bullish reaction today, that's the only way you'll be able to count that. Well, I shouldn't say it that way. Right, it's the only thing I see at the moment. ABC 1. Remember, it's a diag, right? So we're looking for a series of 3s. Okay, right? You could probably work that here. Let's go to a 2-hour. You could probably do this A, B, maybe a little more B. A, B, C. Hang on. Let's get in there a little bit further. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can definitely get into a 5 here. This is how I think it's 3, 4, 5 here. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because we need this to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need that internal impulse. So ABC. Now, you could make a case that that's an A and this is a B, right? So we'd have to go down a degree. So we could go A, B, C coming down here. Let's change the color. Go micro. Oh, here, let's put it in white, right? So A expanded B, A, B, we're coming down for the C, right? So that we would have an ABC. This would be the 2. Let's go up a degree. Macro 1, 2. Now it needs to be a series of 3s, so okay, A. This has to be A, B, C. Not sure I see it the same way as David does, right? But David's a very good trader and an excellent technician. So he's going with 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's see again. Let's see if I can get his 1, 2, 1. Oh, shit, I gotta get that out of there. 1, 2, 1, 2. Well, right. This, again, we're kind of, you know, guesstimating here, right? The only thing I can say with certainty is that if this is going to hold, it needs to stay as a series of 3, which I know he knows and concurs, right? As he's made a comment here, every correction, every single correction in the 2s is a sharp 3-wave move. Okay, right. So we can probably call this an ABC. This is anyone's guess at this moment. The only thing I think we could anticipate is that, excuse me. Voice is very low, really. Who is that? That's SOS. God damn, the mic is as hot as I can make it. Hot, hot, hot. Check, check. Ah, shit, that's pretty hot. That's all the way up. All the way up. All right, let me just get the mic closer. Maybe that's better. All right. Okay, thanks for that, SOS. 1, 2. This is just, we're guessing here, right? I think you got to let this go. Let's see, right? So if everybody's bullish, right, expect it to come down, right? It'll go down before it goes up, right? And if even if the reaction today is bullish for the market, it'll go likely, and I shouldn't say, you can't speak in absolutes, it likely go down first, right? So that it can go up later, right? What's unlikely is that we get a bullish report and it just goes straight up, right? That's not how the market moves, right? They're going to manipulate as they've done all morning. Are you looking at the market right now here? Look at, we're almost to the IB high after that big sell-off, right? It's just pure manipulation, right? You have to look for it. You have to expect it, right? It's something I think that really trips up a lot of traders, right? They don't anticipate the manipulation, right? Everything is manipulation. The entire name of the game is to manipulate you out of your money, right? To make you think it's going up and then have it come crashing down, right? And to make you think it's going through the floor and then that's the name of the game, right? If you're not don't have that in your mind's eye and constantly in focus so that you're aware of it and in your consciousness, you're going to get raped. You just are, right? That's the nature of the game. That's how it works in here, right? The manipulators take it from the manipulated. Right? Now, if you can anticipate and look for that manipulation, you're going to get hit less you're going to get hit, but it'll be less often. Okay, right? So I think this is like, we still could have, it's a series of 3. So we could still have the triangle going in here for a WXY and the figure the Y in a triangle. I don't think that's off the table yet. Yeah, now better. Okay, good. Thanks, SOS. Okay, all right. So, I mean, you can see the triangle, potentially, right? Is this a triangle? Right? A, B, C, D, E, right? Can we get out of here? Remains to be seen. So not a time to be loading up on anything, right? Let the volatility pass, right? Tomorrow should look a lot better. Okay, thanks for that, Major David. Dr. Alban is trying to help Major David, but then he says he doesn't like it. He doesn't want to give up a chart. I just don't think he understands, right? I think he thinks that if I'm working with his chart, that it's going to change on his end. It's not, right? It's not going to affect it at all, right? Or otherwise, guys wouldn't keep giving them to me, right? This is still just, I still like the triangle, right? But it's hard to call a triangle. Give me the D, right? Let me just come down for the E, right? So where would if you're playing the triangle, right? We might anticipate it would be very common to come down to the golden zone here. What the fuck Bitcoin? All it does is pivot at the golden zone. So for this to come down here for the B here of a D, pardon me, A, B, C, D, E. This would be the E going up. Don't count that out, right? Let's wait and see, right? One way or another, we're going to get out of this. Likely, well, here's the range we're in. Let me do it this way. Oh, I'm in log. Ah, fuck here, right? Here's the range we're in. All right, so if I take this out, oops. Right, here's the range, right, that we've been, since this down and now a little pump yesterday. We're going to get out. Where are we now? I know it just feels like, oh, come on, man, don't insult my intelligence. Well, I'm not trying to, but I guarantee you're buying stuff in the premium and selling stuff in the discount, right? If you just did that one simple change, I guarantee, literally one of the few things I can guarantee is your results will improve. Seems too simple, right? No, come on, man. Don't give me that bullshit. Try it for a month. Only buying the discount, only selling the premium. That's the easiest money I'd ever make, right? I can guarantee your results will improve. Period, right? But why don't people do it? Oh, it was going, man. I didn't want it, FOMO, right? It's the only reason you're not able to do that, FOMO. That's the only reason. Period, right? FOMO, right? Oh, I thought it was going to go. So I longed it in the premium. How'd that work out? I don't have to wonder. I know how it works out because I've done it many times myself, right? Okay, right? So I don't do it anymore. Okay, so I got Jamie here. Let's see. Yeah, you guys kind of light on the setups here. I think maybe everybody's just waiting here. So I got Jamie. What are you giving me here? Oh, let's go back over here. Major David, it's not that I don't like your count. I just, it's certainly a possibility. Okay, so this is gold. Let me copy this, right? We've looked at this a few times, a couple of Friday bids. All right, so gold. Oh, let's see what he's thinking, right? Oh, he has the same count I do. I'd love to see that. Okay, so let's put this on here, right? I've got it. Here's what I have, right? So we've talked about this a few times, right? As we go right here, we'll look where we are. Let's bring this over. Look where we are, right? All right, so he's got the exact same count that I do. Right, I mean, it's hard. I mean, if you're applying Elliott, how do we not see that? Now that would be a supply zone, potentially, right? It doesn't mean it can't. Oh, that's not. Well, it's rich. Fuck. Well, let's leave it, right? So here we're right in the pocket, right, for a third. Look at the channeling. I don't know if I tighten that up a little bit. Can that get more precise? I'm not saying sell it. I'm just saying, as a technician, if you're observing that, would you are you buying in the discount or the premium? If you want to long it, right? I'm not saying sell it. I'm saying, the next opportunity to buy it, if we've got that marked out here, this is, how do we not notice this high volume node here, right? As potential support, which would be right in line with all of this right here. So if we get a reaction today, right, that's a long way down, right? Are we going to get that kind of reaction? Probably not in a day, but over the next couple of weeks going into the end of the year, what would that be? That would be right into the end of the year, right? We know we have craziness coming between November and January, right? Crazy time is, if you don't think that's coming, you're not paying attention, right? So we know this crazy time is coming in this little pocket, right? So maybe gold as crazy town takes over, maybe a reserve, a place to go for safety. Don't get me wrong. I'm not rooting for chaos. I just think it's unavoidable, right? I think it's there's no way it's not coming. It's coming, right? So be prepared for it. Okay, so let me get over to what he's got, right? So he's got, well, let me get the same thing I've got. I think, let's see, do I have the, oh shit, where to go? Do I have a triangle in here? Yeah. What else are you going to call that? It almost doesn't matter. What we have here is consolidation, right? The market moves from all the market ever does, right? We expand, then we contract. We expand, we contract. Expansion, contraction, right? It's all it does, right? So here's the contraction, right? Expansion, contraction, expansion. Here's more. I'm gonna look at it this way, right? Contraction, expansion. That's all it does ever. Any chart, anywhere. That's all it does, right? Simplify if you can, right, in your mind's eye, right? Now you look at all this shit on here, and I'm like, come on, man, look at all what the fuck is all that stuff, right? But you could take I could take all of this off, right? It wouldn't matter, right? Even with the labeling, contraction, right? You want to be more precise about it? Look at here, right? Contraction, expansion. Let's be more deliberate with that. Contraction, expansion. You could do it in something like this: contraction, expansion. It's all it does: contraction, expansion, contraction, expansion. It's over and over and over and over and over, right? Just again, train your eye. Oh, we're contracting. What's next? Well, if this is a 1-2, maybe you thought, maybe you thought, oh, this 2 is going to come lower. Well, maybe, right? We're sitting right at the POC at that time. Right? I don't know if it was at that time. But I've got this little contraction. What's the one thing I don't want to do if we're in that little spot here? I don't want to sell the low or buy the high, right? I want to buy the low, sell the high, right? But now, now we're going. Would you have had any clues down here? Once we start to go, RSI is going. That's a CCI. That's a CCI colored OBV, right? So buyers are coming in. Look at the momentum here. Now it lags a little bit, right? It's always going to lag a little bit, but this is, look where you are here. Come here. Look where you are right here as we come out of it. Look at everything below. I know, right? So remember, indicators are never wrong because indicators are just math, right? But they lag, right? It's always easy in hindsight, but they're never. Indicators are never wrong. They're always right. Think about that for a second. It's just math, right? It can't be wrong. Unless the coding is wrong, they're always right as it moves, right? But when you're sitting right here, you're like, oh, shit, up, down, shit, I don't know. We're in a squeeze. What do I do? What do I do, right? Well, that's why you don't have to get the turn. Once it starts to go, right, it's going to be pretty fucking obvious. Okay, we're going. Where's the target? Where might it go? Holy shit, where's that going to go? Here's the highest probability. We hit 1382. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Try it again. Double. Oh, that's a bad sign, right? So what do we do? Back into contraction, right? How do we know it's a 4, right? We stop progressing the trend. Out there. I don't want to make it sound like it's easy. But if you just start training your eye to what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Good stuff in there. This is Dr. Al. Oh, wait. This is Jamie, right? Well, he's got, of all the places you might buy it. Well, this would also, right? You got a little high volume node here. He's got the exact same count that I do, which I'm glad to see. So where would we be looking for, right? Again, it's not, let's put a wave 4 in there, right? So right in here, right in the pocket, right? Right at this high volume node. If we go lower, right, you got a couple of spots. That's on a 4-hour. So down here, if they're lowering rates, right? How's gold going to react to that? Well, don't assume anything. Don't try to be logical, certainly in the short term. If we're sitting up here, my guesstimate, if they want to take it higher, right, the first thing they have to do is take it down. One thing you don't want to do, it seems like do I have to even say this? Whales don't buy at the all-time highs. So you know better. But what if it goes? You let it go. You let it go. I don't care, right? You don't buy all-time highs. You can't afford to do that, right? You can't. I don't care how high that goes. You wait for the retracement, right? If you want to survive in the markets, right? You don't buy, period. You don't buy all-time highs. You learn the hard way, or you could listen to me. It's up to you. Okay, hang on a second. There could still be, we're doing this in diag, so you've got an ABC, you've got the 3s there. A, B, C, you've got it. But I'm not saying short it. I'm just saying next opportunity is going to require some patience. Being out here on a 4-hour, you're going to have to wait. I know, nobody wants to wait. I want Lambos now. SOS, I'll get to that. Yeah, I've got a kind of a light lineup here again. I think people are just waiting. Okay, so this is Dr. Alban. It's giving me, looks like linear on Bitcoin. So let's see what we got here. Okay, give me 1 second here, guys. I've got one of those. Let me copy this. got one of those AC units right now. It's the fucking Nest thing, right? Or if nobody walks in front of it, and it's the units in the hallway, the heat goes up. So I'll be back in 30 seconds, less than that. Okay, I'm back. See, it takes it up to 78. Okay, so what'd you give me? You gave me, so Dr. Something Not to Be Overlooked, Team Capo. Team Capo? Bitcoin linear chart. What is that? What's Team Capo? Not sure what that is. Team, the fuck? It sounds like something I should know. I'm not sure what that is. So, okay, so this is, you giving me, we don't have an exchange here. So what is this? Just the cash index? I guess so. Okay, so let me get in here so I can see it. 1, 2, yes, I've seen this count, right? It's valid, right? We could have a 5-wave structure here. This is, you know, everybody's struggling with this, right? Because we have a true double, right? So you can't be, is it 3 or 5? You could do either on the daily here, so it's a true double. So it appears, right, like it's a 5, right? So then A, B, C, right, into a candidate for a 2 for 1. Oh shit! Right, that actually flies, right? So it could be 1, 2. Oh, let's see. Okay, all right. So this is not out of the realm. I wouldn't. Oh shit. Okay. Okay, so I'm struggling with that one. Okay, I don't think actually that Dr. Alban is this bearish. I think he's just, you know, teeing this up here as an alternate to consider, right? Because we're also bullish. Okay, right. So how would we make this fly? Well, it looks like you could do it, right? So you would do it if I'm going to do it per the way he's got it counted, right? This would be A. This would be B, because we can expand past the high here for a B. And we'd be coming, oh, Dr. Alban, really? Oh, okay. A, B, this would put us under 15. Do I think that's going to happen? No. Is it up in the realm of possibility? Of course. Of course it is. Let me clear up some of this so I can see in there. All right, let's take these down a degree. He's got some big degrees on this. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, all of this is going to come much lower. Well, things we can say with certainty, right? This is unmitigated down here, right? So if we were going to come where, so we didn't get there on this index. Oh, what do we call this here? Let's call it a demand zone. Right, so this is unmitigated sitting here. Right, so if we come down here to hit that 50, you can't eliminate this. It's not what I think is happening, but now let's see. Well, the implication is we'd be going, at least we'd be looking to double down here. 1, 2, 3, right? This could be, oh shit. Let me take this up a degree. Let's just think this all the way through, right? If this is 4, 5, right? Could we be coming down this low? Again, anything's possible. Something dramatic will have had to happen, right? It's not going to be a rate cut. It's not going to be 5 rate cuts, right? For Bitcoin to be coming down like this, something very dramatic will have had to happen to change virtually everything. Virtually everything's going to have to change. Now, election shenanigans, well, again, we're going into a time where predictability is going to be rather elusive. I think we could probably all agree on that. Where would be the next demand zone, right? Unmitigated down here. You could do this a couple of different ways. You might even hear and say, okay, well, it's fully mitigated, right? So this is the down. We broke here, so we can, right? Is a little. If I here, let's see if I did it this way. I think if I do it this way, we'd see, right? This would be clearly, you know, point of contention here for support, putting us down here in the 20s. Okay, right. So I mean, again, I think he's doing a service here by giving us, you know, an alternate bearish count. I think that's really what he's doing. I'd be surprised if he's shorting Bitcoin. I'd be surprised, right? Maybe he is. I'd be surprised. I don't, you know, keep a bearish count. Why not? If we start breaking this lows and we break this mitigation here and we coming down here, okay, all of a sudden this is going to start looking more possible. Thanks for sharing that, Dr. Alban. We'll see, right? Interesting. Okay, so I think we're all good. That's just some chat with Major David for him. I'm just trying to get him to give us a chart we can work with, but he doesn't seem to like it. Okay, so I've got CN Salazar is giving me, what do we got here? He's giving me Apple. Oh, shit, I've got it somewhere, but Apple, all right? Who's buying a new iPhone and a new Apple Watch? Well, I'm still rocking a 13 and an 8, so I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for the new ones to come out. Okay. Who wants to short that? Well, you know, back to where we just were, right? I would cautious, don't... I can't say it that way, right? I would never buy that. I would never buy an all-time high. All right, so let's, I think we can, oh, where's the 3, right? You're going to have to do, right? It's not unreasonable to think we've got that. There's COVID is here. On a 3-day, it's, hang on a second here. All right, so you either have to do 1, 2, 1, 2. We can't do anything here. We don't get enough here. Well, here's COVID right here. So let's get that wicked. Yeah. Okay, since going up here, it's hard not to see a 5 in that. See, sometimes the log is so compressed. The question mark is this, right? Is that a 2? Right, it's so tiny, right? If that's this would give you a pause, right, to do it this way because of the 2 to the 4. So let's just check all the possibilities here. If we go a little skinny, you know, we've talked about this 100 times, right? So that's the launch point that you want to look for. Sweep and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sweep straight up, right? You do. Now that's a 3-day, but even on the daily, right? They don't give you another chance, right? That's the last chance you had to get in there, right? Little, which you'd assume is like, oh, is it 3, 4? Where's my 1, 2? This has to be if this is AB, this has to be the C, right? Once we go, right, there's got to be one that holds, and then we go 3, 4, 5. So what do you want to do there? Oops. What's the alternate? That's not unreasonable. It's the 2 is sort of like Bitcoin, right? It's you know, this fucking straight line, just this straight line, right? Straight line. It moves in straight lines. Okay, so this is not unreasonable. So we might do it this way. So let's take this down macro. I think we've done this before. 2, 3. Now what are we doing? All right, we've had an overlap here, but we don't care anymore. Oh, let's take this down. All right, amazing. how conveniently things have opened up, right, when we don't care about an overlap, right? So, right, but it still has to be a series of 3. So 1, 2, what would your thought process be here? Is that going to be 3? Or is that likely going to be 1? Could be, right? Could be. You got an ABC there, and it looks like it's technical. In the pocket. There's really nothing to mitigate here. It's just a straight line. You got a little bit. This broke. That you trashed it there, right? So that would have been a loser if you were trying to buy that. ABC. Okay, right. So it would be easy to be thinking, okay, oh, I see it, ABC. Okay, what's the big deal? 1, 2. Okay, it's a candidate. Would this be the 2? Right, possibly. Let's go 1, 2. Pretty sharp. What would your next thought be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, do we know that's what it is? Of course not, right? So what's the other possibility here? If we're going to come down lower, this would be WX. Again, is there any subdivision here? ABC. It's tricky, right? Something like this, right? When they they're so in demand, the demand is so strong. What your assumption would be, okay, well, if the 2 is in, this is not going to be 3, right? But that could be 1 of 3. We go again, right? It's the same thing over and over again, right? Here's a 50 golden zone, 50. Where are we going? Where does this count change, right? It would be a tick below this low, right? If we're going to come down, we can go 1 tick to it, right? We can come all the way down here, right? But if 1 tick below, right, it invalidates. Right now, well, okay, is there any question about what the trend is, right? Pretty sure we're clear on the trend. Let's go back to a daily and look at that. If this is 1, 2, could be 3. Would you anticipate that for Apple? Maybe, right? So now we're kind of in the, oh, am I buying in the premium or the discount? Well, now you're buying in the premium if you're a buyer. You had to be, fill the gap. You had to be waiting for that, right? You didn't get a lot of time, right? That was yesterday. Now, right, but don't assume, right? Don't assume, oh, they're lowering rates, it's going higher, right? The rate cycle pattern is the opposite, right? It's going to be the guidance, right? If the market doesn't get what it wants to hear, expect a pretty substantial sell-off. Market has to get what it wants, right? What's already priced in, right? The minimum of 25, many are anticipating 50 is already priced in, right? Disappoint and look out. It's not one I'd be trading today. Oh shit, there's not much that I would be trading today. Why? Why take any additional risk, right? You don't want to be trading today. You just want to be prepping. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Well, all the TAs, right? Just hold your powder, right? Is that going to be up here at the end of the day? Anything's possible, but more likely, right? If it's going to go up, right, we would come down, right, and then go. Remember, right? These are the the market makers and the algos. They live for days like this, right? Because everybody is so quick to jump, right? Oh, they're lowering rates, so we got to buy it, right? And down all to go. Manipulation is the name of the game. Who are they trying to manipulate? You and me. So always be thinking, is this manipulation, right? If everybody thinks it's going higher, well, it's likely to go down. Apple. Okay, we got Apple, right? Again, hold your powder on that. Then I've got, let's see. Thanks, Sam. Already in from yesterday. Okay, so I got a couple of requests. Okay, so I got to bring this over here so I can see them. All right, so a couple of guys. One of SOS was asking for something. SOS is Inj. All right, let's get that. I don't know what I got here. I guess we'll do it here. Let's do it here. Yeah, let's open that up. Let's remove indicators, remove drawings, and let's go INJ. Whoops. DT. Crypto, can we get them on our new fave, right? Our sponsor. We got Blowfin. Are they on there? Yes, they are. All right. Do we have enough history? We may not have enough history. On the daily. Oh, here, we might have to split that. So let's go. We can trade it on that. Let's go to all, and let's get a little more history. All right. So if we go to Binance, get some more history. Probably have to go. Oop, sorry. Let's do it here. Shocking, I know. Look at that little double, right? Came back another time. Careful about the panic. Oh, fuck it. I'm just going to get out because they're definitely going to sweep it. Right? Remember, it's one of them is going to hold, right? It has to. It has to. I can't get a 1-2 out of it. So don't take yourself out too early. Be like, oh, shit. I knew they're going to get it. Careful. Okay, so what is there any mystery in that count? Well, it's pretty easy to look here and think, okay, so look what we got, triangle there. Well, you got it's kind of a bumpy start to it. All right, so we're going to do 1, 2. Yeah, can we get it out of there? That's kind of what I'm seeing. A, B, C, D, E, and it's kind of squishy. See if I open it up a little bit. A, B, C, D, E. It's a little thin, right? I don't know if it matters. We got to do it in log scale so we can see it. Okay, so we have this already played. We got a nice. So let's label it. 1, 2. Is this 3? I would propose not. All right, no, that's an opening salvo, right? You got to start somewhere. Okay, well, all right. So, of course, now if you take it out of log, you're like, oh, fuck, of course that's a 3. Maybe, right? So you got to look at this and think, okay, right? Is it distorting it too much, right? This is why you got to be careful about log scale, right? It distorts everything to your eye, right? So you make assumptions that maybe you be careful about that. That's why it's always good to look at them both. And there'll be some, right? You'll take it out of log and you're like, oh, fuck, right? Obviously, right? I can't look at that. But does this not make you think, oh, God, maybe I want to put this up here? Maybe the triangle ABC is up here. Kind of looks that way. Well, then you'd be moving this all, right? Now, I can't have a triangle and a 2, so can I reevaluate this? 1, 2, yeah, I can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3. Oh, shit, you could do it either way. Now, with that done, let's go back here and see. Now, it doesn't look right there. You're like, oh, fuck, that 4, that can't be right. That 5 is too small. Is it? Is it too small? Careful with that. Well, you can get the subdivision is there. All right, how do we know that's the 4, right? It's pretty easy to spot. It doesn't progress the trend, right? The trend stalls, right? So this whole thinking, right, comes right here, right? Boom. Fully mitigated. Here's a little double right here. Looks like we're complete here. Let's add an EWO just for fun. I would double those. 1070. Okay. All right. 1, right? So here's the divergence of the top of the 1. Here's the push at the top of the 5. Looks like we're talking about divergence. Holy shit. All right, so here's the 3, 4, 5 at that degree. All right, so here's at the top. Now, when we pull the retrace, right, remember you're pulling in log, right? So you gotta check both. Plenty deep. Plenty deep. Here it's like, oh, we're not even there yet. Careful of that. It's tricky, right? But log is a pain in the ass, right? I wish we never had to do it. But, you know, how are you counting that? You can't. Plenty deep enough. So let's go here. I think you got to check both here. So let's go to platinum. Oh, where are you, platinum? All right, so 786. How are we doing it? WXY. Looks like there's another 3 going in there. Well, bottom line here, there's no need to do anything until some of these swings are taken out, right? You got this one got it to be taken out. This one's got to be taken out. This one's got to be taken out, right? Those are all resistance points, right? Inducements. You want to think of it that way. Right, so look, this is the way you can look at that, right? So it's the same thing on the downside, right? When we're coming down, let's get this out of here. Let's just move it over. This is the swing. This is the here. Oh shit! What's the way to do this? Oh come on, give me a dot. Yeah. I don't want those. I want that. Okay, right. So here, this is the high that produces this break of structure. Right here. All right. So let's call that. Oh, let's call that up. Right. So this is the high. So when we retrace, right? This is the highest point. Right, so when we're coming back this direction, we want to be looking for that 50, right? So to invalidate here that we had fully mitigated would be a break here. We come in, it looks like that may be technical. All right, we got wicks past the golden. But there's an opportunity there because this is the break. So as we're retracing here, now, do we continue? Right, that's the question because what happens here, right? Do we get another break? So the process starts again, right? So what's the highest high that led to that break right here? So this is a whole subset of SMC traders, right? So this is the highest high that broke that. So we're coming back to the 50 again. Now we don't have a break here, but this is actually a lot of SMC traders are preferring this. All right, so we've got it again, right? So then this, right, if we're going to, oh shit, I don't know if I can do it. We don't have the break, but if we get this break, right, then we'd be down here, right? We don't have it yet. So if you're watching here, right, okay, if we come down this direction, then we'd coming back, right, for the 50 is a good entry point. You can go 1 to 1 here or 2 to 1, depending on how bearish you are. All right, just something to look for, right? It's getting a lot of traction in the whole SMC community is all lit up about this. Okay, all right, so let's get this out of here. Get this out of here, this out of here. All right, I just look at this and think, okay, well, at some point here, I'm going to get a higher low. Now that needs to lead to one of these pivots getting swung, right? Getting taken. That would be a change of character, right? So we have a change of character going up, right? So it wouldn't necessarily be a break of structure here because we haven't broken structure here. So this would just be a pivot that didn't do its job, right? Remember, every pivot every swing has a job. Its job is to break the next low. Right, when it doesn't do that, if we come this way, right, oh, something changed. Now, to get full break of structure, we'd have to be up here. That's where you'd get the break of structure because you'd have, I guess I shouldn't assume you guys all know this, right? But most of you do, I'm sure, right? So because I mean, every fucking YouTube video is all of this, right? So we come back up here. That's the break of structure. So first we have the change of character. Then we have the break of structure. Okay, well, what are we anticipating next after a break of structure? Right, there's a logic to it, right? Correction. So do you see how you can't trade Elliott Wave without trading market structure? Right, so I've been saying this for the last 3-4 years, right? Once SMC got so popular, I'm looking at that going, what? This is just Elliott Wave with different labeling. What would this be here? We're just using different names, right? That would be a chalk down. Chalk down. Oh, break of structure. Oh, failure swing, change of character, right? Where would it have to go to get another break of structure? down here. Right, it's again, it's Elliott Wave with different labeling. But right, people, they think that's easier. If you think that's easier, okay, right? Oh, I don't want to put a 3, a 4, and a 5 on it, right? Because I know that shit doesn't work anymore. No. We're way too hip and contemporary for that. Okay, right. So that's a hurry up and wait there on Inj, right? But lots of upside. Oh, that's the 1 and that's the 2. Whoa, that thing could fly. Okay, let me get back over here so I can see. Let's see, Inj. I got that one. How about AVAX? AVAX? Who's that? Cameo Donaron. AVAX TA. Okay, well this, I think, oh shit, I've got it in here. Oh, here, we'll just do one here. AVAX. Oh, yeah, here I'm going to need the history before I go to Blowfin, right? Traded on Blowfin, but okay, so here, right, this is where log is helpful because I want to get that low. Here, we can use that. Right. Now, if I look at this here in log scale, right, let's take it out of log scale. Right? Would you be thinking, right, 3, 4, 5? Probably, right? So you look at it here and go, oh, but God, is that the 2? Careful, right? It distorts your eye, right? Pretty dramatically. The ABC, 1, 2, right? It's a little tricky. Let's go with what you might just, let's try it on for size, see how it fits. Well, it's a little skinny up there. Let's try a 4. Sheesh. Well, it's often the case, right? There's just almost no 2 here. Well, you have to put it here. Oh, fuck, I guess you could put it here. Right, you got essentially, right, you just can't call it a triangle. It's just not a triangle, right? W, X, Y, perhaps. Oh, I don't know that it matters, right? You could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. We're not learning a lot there. Let's get that up to micro. All right, we stay impulsive, right? So we don't have an overlap there. All right, up for a 5. Is it a 5? You probably get that done. Somewhere in here is going to be your top. All right, hang on here. Let's get this in blue, right? Yeah. Good luck in there. Something gives us a new high. That's about all you can say. Okay, that's a pretty good long fall from 68 to 20. So now let's go try, oops, that's not what I want. Let's try log here. Okay, right, so am I absolutely sure about that? Not really, because the 2 is so shallow. But would I trade it? Well, let's just keep going here. How do we do here? Little wiki. Am I on the absolute low? Yeah, I am. Okay, a little wick. This is all wick, isn't it? Yes, it is. All right, one quote from ICT. I mean, I'm assuming it's from him that I do like, right? So wicks do the damage, bodies tell the story, right? So, any question whether Al's in here? I think not. All right, there he is. Boom, right to target. Right, goes into the other one here. Had a little overkill, right? They had plenty to clear it. Okay, so what do we come back, right? So what's the next thing you're looking for? Oh, we got a break. Okay, do we have to go to the next one? Yes, you do, right? So because remember, the algo doesn't care, right? All it's going to see is this. All it's going to see is this, right? It doesn't matter the first one broke. It'll just go back a pivot. Doesn't care about any of this, right? It's just, remember, it's not a person, it's just code. Okay, right, so one. WXY. Well, this is frustrating, right? Because all the alts have done this, right? So when you first look at that, it's hard to see that as bullish. How do we? Right, this is okay. Like when in doubt, what's the simplest thing I can see? I know everybody's trying to get, well, let's dance around it here. Maybe it's a 1, 2, 3, and we're deep 4, right? Maybe it's a diag. Okay, yeah, maybe, right? Well, let's get the leg out of here before we, make an assumption. Believe me, I want it to go. I want Bitcoin and alts to go to the moon. Trust me, I'm very much positioned for such, right? So nobody wants to see it go more than I, but I can't call it. Again, right? So let's consider, okay, is there a possibility we're doing this? Yeah, I suppose we can make that case. There's some possibility we're doing it that way. We're going to do it as a diag. Is that the simplest thing? Is that the most obvious thing? Right? Now, if we go up here and we get a new high here, I'm going to be quick to go, well, I'll be damned. I'll be damned, right? We've got something like this and we're going up for a 5. Is that what usually happens? I just looked at this. Yeah, we broke here. All right, so we have to go to this one. Is that what usually happens? Is that how they usually start? Well, I wouldn't go near this on the bull side until I've got that. If I get this, like, oh fuck, oh well, I guess so. Where's my low here? We're through that one as well, right? So okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, it's going to have to do it in a series of 3s. It's going to have to be one hell of a big C wave to get that in. How about from this low, right? What, not uncommon. See something technical there. Pretty good. I'm right on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could do it. To me, right, you got to prove it to me. I mean, the market's got to show me that that's what it wants to do. That it wants to get up here and do this as a series of 3s. Let's log. Let's take it out of log just to double check ourselves. A, B, C. That you could do that. A, B. It's quite a C. Good luck with the subdivision there. Note out of log scale, right? We break. In log we don't, right? Which is, you don't really. The best of all is when it's arithmetic golden, right? If I have to put it into log scale to get the golden, okay, do we still see it? Yeah, of course, but that wouldn't be my preference. Coming out here like this, I see a lot of technicians, a lot of Elliott Wave technicians that are very skilled working this. Well, David, right? Major David, who's very skilled, right? He's doing that with Bitcoin, right? Thinking that we've got his is 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, maybe. I'm just going to have to prove it to me. Okay, that's AVAX. Dear, do you have copy trading for your viewers? I don't, right? I don't do copy trading. I like to teach, right? And then you guys trade accordingly, right? If you can learn what we're doing here, because then that's it. Almost the reason I don't do that, right? We don't do signals. Because then you're not creating independence, right? You're dependent on somebody else, right? I know it's like, who fucking cares? I just want to make money. Well, that's never been our objective, right? Our objective is to teach you, right? So you could do this on your own. There's no shortage, my God, no shortage of places that will do that, but I would be careful with those things. Okay, I know some people have had good success with it, but it's just not something we do. Okay, AVAX. But profit will be shared with you. I hear you, man. In the top 10 all crypto coins, it's is that so? SOS. What's he asking for? SOS. Oh, Inj, right? Okay, so we just looked at that one. Okay, I'm just reading through the chat here. Show us coin and MSNTG. Okay, in the top 12. Okay, so that's it. How am I doing on time? Oh, we're good. I got another half an hour. Okay, that is I just had one here. Currently profit. AVAX, I did that one. So he wants so it looks like he wants coin. Okay, right. So keep an eye on this one, right? All the alts look this way, right? So if we rip today, right, because we get that, I'll eat my hat. Maybe we will. I'm not saying I'd be disappointed. Okay, so let's get coin. Coin. Stocks. Coin. How do we look here? Coinbase. All right, do we need to be in log? Well, you know, 4 times the range is really where you're kind of forced into it. We certainly have that with a low of 30 and a high of 280, right? So anybody confused there by the count? Well, this is a little tricky, right? We got this right here. Oh, look at that. Things that do not happen randomly would be the category we see here. Okay, note what I'm doing here. There's a procedure, right? Everything is done the same way always, right? That's our edge, right? You hear me say that every week. Our edge is doing it the same way every time, right? So what's up with my computer's lagging a little bit? Okay, right, so why am I lagging? I do have a lot of shit open. Could be just I'm lagging a little bit. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, so we can. Oh, fuck. Hang on, come on. TradingView, don't do this. You take that down. It's getting a little laggy on me here. I'm just, okay, 1, 2. I guess I'm assuming you guys can see that. Ah, fuck me. It's lagging on me a little bit. I've got fucking 50 tabs open. But I'm assuming, here, I'm just get rid of that one. I'm assuming you guys can see the internal count. Let's try one more time. Right, so you guys can all see that, right? It's not hard to get, right? I mean, a 7th grader could get that, right? It's just not that hard to see the 5s and the 3s, right? Okay, we can all see what's happening there. Oh, but what? Oh no, it's perfect. Again, things that don't happen randomly. Also, right, as we were talking about before, what do we do here? Consolidation, expansion. Consolidation, expansion. Consolidation. We're expanding the other direction, right? All of this, consolidate, expand, right? That's all the market does. Right? You just, if you can just frame it that way in your mind's eye, right? Consolidation, oh, down we go. What's it doing? What's it doing right now? Did we not just come from consolidation? If I just bring this over, that's on a 4-hour. Right, consolidation, right? Now the ranges can be big, right? That's a big range. What is that classically? Well, whether you're Elliott Wave, Wyckoff, SMC, right? That's manipulation, distribution, right? We distribute lower, right? Here's, well, you could be more precise. Here's the manipulation here. Manipulation, distribution. So what's the thing to do here? Well, you've got a zone here that's untapped, right? That's not fully mitigated. Oh, I just got it, right? So if we go from swing high to swing low, I get that right on it. Right, 50 is the target, right? So you've got a nice 1-to-1. No, shit, where is it? 1-to-1 is here. Oh, that's log scale, right? So that's going to take me out a little bit. Right, so it's 1-to-1, right? That'd be a 1-to-1 trade there. That's the risk, right? So do the math. Can you afford that risk? But that's the play, right? This is very popular in the SMC community right now. All right, so trading these unmitigated zones right to the 50, target the top of the range. Okay, so you've got that candidate right there. I'm going to take this off of here. Just out of curiosity, right? Don't ever forget to check Al. Where's Al? Right, at the mitigation. See, things that don't happen randomly, right? You just, it's like there's a code here. You have to work with it. There it is. What's happening here? Oh, here's the unmitigated at the 50. Oh, golden zone, right? You have to see all of that. It takes a while to train your eye for this. And then, right, is that you hear me saying this for how long have I been doing this? 6 years. This part, right, solving the puzzle, right, as I'm just talking about, well, where's the code, right? It's in here, right? You can almost always find this. That's the fun part, right? It's solving the puzzle. Oh, fuck, I see it, right? Well, where does trading actually begin? Right, trading begins when you enter the market, right? Now you got to manage the trade. The TA, that's the easy part. Well, I shouldn't say it that way. That's the more enjoyable part, right? There's no stress, right? You're just doing photography. We're just working here. Look at this. Oh, look at this. Oh, look, yeah, I see it. Oh, look at that. Oh, right. That's the easy part. Once you're in the market, oh, not so easy anymore. Oh shit, what's it doing? Oh fuck it. They're gonna get that. They're gonna sweep it, right? You start all that self-talk here. You got to try and eliminate that the best you can, right? There's no way to eliminate it completely, right? There's very little more emotional than your money at risk. Period, right? You lovers, I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you, right? But very little more emotional than your money at risk, right? In terms of you making stupid decisions, although we could put relationships right close by. But this is now no longer, oh, I'm just stress-free doing the TA. Now all of a sudden I gotta go to work, right? And I gotta be willing to accept the fact that I'm wrong, right? So, but this is why, what we do here, and the reason we're trying to teach you this is that there's no reason, to put your stop down here. That's just a suicide. Why would you do that? You could take this trade literally right now, and your stop is one tick under the low. Okay, so I'm not saying put the kids' tuition money into it, but you can certainly afford to take a little risk there. Maybe you buy a call spread. What's your target up here, right? You got a pretty big target, right? So if you just buy like a 10-point spread, the 180-200 spread, okay, well what are you getting? You're not going to get any runner. You're going to get this. Right? Okay, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. Maybe you get a retrace. You go again. Maybe you do that 3-4 times. But the more times you enter the market, right, the more risk you're taking on. Right? So something like this, don't be afraid to have a target up here. Why would you not have that target? Seriously, why would you not have that as your target, right? If this is going to complete an Elliott Wave impulse, well, what's classic? Classic, right? TA, right out of the book. Right, would be 100%. Right, very common, right, to go 100% the length of the 1 from the proposed 4. Now, we don't know for absolute sure that that's the 4, but sure, good-looking position for it. Excuse me. I mean, why would you not take that trade? I'm going to take that trade. I'm going to get off here and go to put on, take that trade. Right? Why would you not take that trade? Only one reason I can think of. You got something you like better, or you're out of capital. That's a textbook in your face. Like I can't script that any better. I can't make it up. I can't Photoshop on the chart a better setup than that. You guys should be leaving right now to go put that trade on. Well, I shouldn't say that. If it were me and I were in your shoes and I had some available powder, I'd be off this webinar. I'm not trying to get rid of you. I'd be putting that on this instant. Right? Know where to get out, right? You know where to get out under the low. One of the pivots, right? Because if this is going as a 5, if this is a 1, that it can't break that low. That's absolute, right? So if you do that, you're wrong. Okay, well, what was your risk, right? Modest as risk goes. But if we go up here and then we come down here, oh, are you freaked out? No. Right? Oh, maybe I want to add. Now I got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right now, we don't know that it's going to do that any more than we knew it was going to do it here. But look, 5, 3, 5, 3. Why are you assuming something else? You talk yourself out of a monster winner right there. Oh, I just wasn't comfortable with it, right? I didn't like the start of it. It was Fed day. All right. If this thing tanks, right? If we do this, okay, loser. Next trade. Have we had a better setup than this? No. That's the best setup of the whole live stream right there so far. Okay. 50 point dry 10 Bitcoin ripping. Oh, do we have it? Oh shit, is it 2 already? Oh yeah, it is. Holy shit. Okay, so what did the market do? Holy shit. Oh, there comes the, holy fuck, look at that. Oh man, that was a good day for me. Now, I'm saying that, right? Because I just bought some Qs options. Oh man. Oh, that's a good, holy shit, that's some volatility. Holy shit. So they did 50, interesting. Okay, so, all right, so we're through the volatility. Everybody should be off the horn right here, right? You should get out of here and go buy some call, buy some Coinbase, right? Like we've had no reaction here. Oh, what have I got over here? All right, so here's the pump. Looks like we're going up for this. We're going for the 5. We just broke that high. Are we doing this? Looks like we are, right? Now this is still possible ABC, right? Let's see what we get here. Interesting, right? So they did 50. That's good. Holy shit, that's some volatility. Oh, I love it. What did Bitcoin do? Snooze. Ethereum, nothing. Ethereum, Link. Wow. Gold. Little push. Looks like we're going up again. Kind of a snooze for a lot of. Okay, let me get off of here. Let's see. I had one more for you guys. Right. Thanks. Quite clear. Oh, Eduardo. Hey, man. How about Ripple? Ripple. I've got Ripple over here. Ripple. A full disclosure. I have a lot of this. I'm playing the 4. Right. I do think we're going up to challenge that high. $3. So I got a lot of this. What did it do? Squat. Right, so it's still sitting in this triangle. Let me pull out there. I think I have to go weekly. See that a little better. 3, 4. Right, I'm playing for that high, minimum $3. Right, I'm holding right until then. Right, now, again, it's not money I need. Right, so I'm comfortable just leaving it there. Okay, I had. There was one other. There was coin. Oh, MSTG. Yeah, let's see what he does. He's thinking. It's a proxy for. Well, you could say the same thing right here for crypto, right? Let's get. This will be the last one here. Then I'm immediately gonna buy some Coinbase. I'm not exaggerating. Where did it go? MicroStrategy. That's what he wanted, right? Where'd it go? MSTG, there it is. No, he wants MSTG. I thought you wanted MSTG. Are you sure that's what you want? Or do you want I'm thinking he wants MicroStrategy. Is that what you wanted there? I'm thinking, Eduardo, for some reason I'm thinking you didn't want that golf thing. You wanted MicroStrategy. Would be my hunch. Let's go out to the daily. Well, okay. As we've been talking about, what is the market doing? Well, you'd be inclined to think, right, that's 4-ish. All right, well, a few things, right? You can see it's, after a while, you see it in every chart, right? So what happened there? Right, that's obviously a liquidity grab, right? So that's often, right, that's the sign of the launch, right? The last little sweep here, the last little fuck you to the stops, right, that are swept here. That's grabbing liquidity if they want to take it higher. You can kind of see the, let's see if I can play this out here, and then we'll put a count on it. You have another one here. These are all little breaks. Okay, so come here. So if we come back this way, we didn't get the 50. Come back this way, we got the 50 to the tick. Come back this way, right? See all I'm doing? Here's the break, and then here's the lowest low prior to the break. Right? That's all. It's simple, right? It's like just like kind of a thing an algo would do, right? So here you don't get the 50, but you probably got 20, 30% of it, right? So that's bullish market. So this is, I would leave this as unmitigated. Looks like that might be, we didn't get a 30 there. Oh, yeah, maybe we did. Didn't quite get a golden. just shy of it. Well, you don't really have a good... it's kind of a little bumpy there. Looks like you're good here, right? Well, if the Elliott's confusing, right, do you need it, right? Do we need it, right? So, nothing I did there was any Elliott here. The Elliott's a little, not sure. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. You'd have to do it as a diag. The Elliott's suspect there. What's the last place that's unmitigated, right? We can look at this here. So if we were coming down, we can just do it again and say here, okay, well, there's the low. So this is ripe sitting here. You don't have a breakup here, so while that's just consolidating, what's the play there? Is there a play there? I'd rather buy Bitcoin. Now, retrace, I'd be very interested down here if we retrace that deeply. A, B, it looks like that's ABC, doesn't it? A, B, a lot like Bitcoin, right? Well, oh, what do we do here? What are we doing here, right? There's the same pattern, right? We're seeing it in the alts. You're seeing it in Bitcoin. What are we doing? Jesus, I'm shocked Bitcoin's not getting any action off of that. Right, here's Major David, right? There's so many, again, many technicians, right, are trying to turn this bullish. 3, 3. Where are the legs? It's disappointing. Okay, with that, I think I got it. Yeah, Eduardo, I thought it was MicroStrategy. Yeah. So the MicroStrategy, there's no edge there. There's nothing clear. Oh shit, let's go in here. You probably got, that's probably a golden. Probably, right? But you didn't break that, right? So you broke here, you didn't sweep this low. So this is sitting here just waiting to be swept. It's a little iffy. It's, long term, fuck, would I have any hesitation owning this, right? But do you want to park it there? It's not an inexpensive stock, right? So how much can you buy? How much are you willing to park it there? See, to me, this doesn't look tradable. It looks like this would just be accumulation, right? But I'm accumulating up here at this high. Makes the assumption that the next thing coming is the break of structure at the high, right? That's the assumption you're making if you're entering now, right? You're making that assumption that that's coming. Now, I'm not saying it's not coming, but that's a... If anything, right, if we had swept this low, I'd like it better, right? So this is sitting here just waiting. You can say the same thing for this, right? Remember, every pivot is the target, right? Because there's going to be stops there. So where would this get interesting to me? Down here. That would get interesting. At least you'd be sweeping the obvious targets, right? So this would probably be WXY. Shit, you can do that a couple of different ways. I think Bitcoin looks better, right? Rather than this, unless you just want to hold it. Okay, I'm going to get off. All right. I think that's everybody. I think I got everybody. Okay. All right. Going to be interesting to see how we look tomorrow. Holy shit, the market is just flying. Okay, all right. I'm going to go buy some Coinbase. Okay, guys, you guys have a good one. Thanks for hanging out with me. We had a slow start here, but once we got rolling. Okay, guys, have a good one. I'll be back on Friday.